Hello Bookles, my name is Cam. I hope you're all doing well today. Hope you're all going okay this week, and I hope Nano's not taking too much out of you. So I'm here today with a long overdue discussion video. I've been looking for a topic to do a discussion on because I don't think I've done one since, I think my last one was Are Books Just for Girls Now, which I'll put above. But I've been wanting to do a discussion video. I've just been looking for a topic and now I have one. So something on YouTube has just started, I suppose, making movement and gaining momentum, and that is something called AuthorTube. And I just wanted to have a chat about that. And roll the intro. So the idea of AuthorTube is pretty self-explanatory. If you're watching this, then you're obviously well aware of booktubing and or booktubers. That's something I've been identifying myself as far as YouTube goes, because I do videos on books. But I'm sure you're aware that I also do videos on writing. And this is basically where AuthorTube comes in. As the name suggests, AuthorTube, or the idea of AuthorTube, is that there would be a community being built for YouTubers who focus their attention around videos on writing, not just providing advice or information on writing, but also their insights and their experiences, kind of like vlogs, such as, I'm sure it would even expand to sketches and comedy, all that kind of stuff. Basically everything that we're doing on BookTube, just more so from the side of the fence where the books are being written. To give you a bit of background, because this is a really new really new community actually, and it's still very small. It's quite easy to give you the rundown on how this actually started, so I'll do that. So the oldest video I could find mentioning AuthorTube was actually a channel called Cady Vance, but the thing is, I think it's kind of how she titled her channel at the time, AuthorTube. I don't think it was actually her intention to put that as the name of a community. In the video where she labels it AuthorTube, she's encouraging writers to, I suppose, build a community, or a kumbaya as she puts it, but it's not so much her saying let's call this thing AuthorTube like BookTube. I think it's just a thing that kind of came to her spur of the moment for her particular videos rather than others. Oh, by the way, I'll link all the channels and videos that I mentioned. They'll all be linked below, so if you want to check them out, pretty easy, just scroll down. What really kicked off AuthorTube though was Meade. She made a video called, appropriately enough, Join AuthorTube, and that was her basically identifying that there wasn't a real community for writers, and taking the initiative to say, here we go, here's a community, let's build on this. To put my 2 cents worth in, I think there has been AuthorTubers for a long time. I think they've existed. I just don't think they've been identifying themselves as AuthorTubers. They've been more than likely identifying themselves as booktubers, because I suppose it kind of falls into the same category and they didn't see that much of a line in the sand. That's not me saying I don't think there's a need for an AuthorTube. I do. I think it'll be really beneficial for us to actually have our own little community, but I'm just hoping that doesn't kind of split people apart. Obviously not in a hostile way. It's not like it's going to be a battle or anything. It's just, I feel like you can be a booktuber and an AuthorTuber at the same time without it being an issue whatsoever, and without you having to identify yourself as both things or either of those two things. There's been writers on YouTube for a long time giving advice and vlogs, that kind of stuff, on their writing processes and their experiences. They just really haven't been engaging as a person to a community, that's all, and that's why this AuthorTubing thing is so great. So yeah, Meade made that video a while ago, and then we had JennaTheDarkOne, who kind of took that call to action and took the initiative to do the first AuthorTube newbie book tag. Let me try that again. She did the first AuthorTube newbie tag, which very much like BookTube is just you introducing yourself, talking about what you write, where you want to go going forward. Basically very, very comparable to BookTube, and yeah, so that's, I suppose, where this AuthorTube is now gaining momentum. So really my 2 cents worth here is that I think it's not so much that there's been a lack of community, I just don't think that community has been self-aware or aware that they are a community. I think they've just been communicating to each other as writers within BookTube. I think that's what's happened here, and it would be good to kind of have our own share, if that makes any sense. One thing I will mention is that I feel like not calling this community WriterTube is a bit of a wasted opportunity, because I may be being just really pedantic here, I may be picking at minor details, but there is a difference between a writer and an author, and it does kind of, I suppose, it does change the meaning of AuthorTube, I guess, if you were to be literal about it. So a writer is pretty much anyone who writes at any point, like all of us here. If you write fiction, non-fiction, anything, for the sake of writing, then you are a writer. The thing is, being a writer doesn't make you an author. Being an author doesn't always make you a writer, but generally if you are an author, you are a writer, or you have been a writer at some point in your life. So I feel like it would have been more appropriate to call it WriterTube. Mainly because an author, by its definition, is a writer who's actually been published. I'm sure that could include self-publishing, but to call yourself an author without actually having done the publishing part, technically it doesn't actually work. So of course the thought crossed my mind to do a WriterTube newbie tag, but ultimately I decided that that would just undermine JennaTheDarkOne's video, and I don't want to do that at all. Her video was great, her intention for the video was fantastic, and I think the fact it's called AuthorTube over WriterTube is, I suppose, a really minor detail and something that's not going to matter at all in the grand scheme of things. The important thing here is to build a community, hopefully one that will one day be as strong as BookTube for the writing side of things, and I'm going to continue doing BookTube videos and writing videos. I will continue to refer to myself as a booktuber, and maybe in the future I'll refer to myself as an authortuber as well. I might even do the AuthorTube newbie tag soon, but my main point here is that we shouldn't be seeing it as two separate communities. It's just, I suppose, an additional community onto the one that already exists. I want to clarify, it's not like there's anyone who has been saying it's two separate communities. There's no hostility at all. I'm probably making it sound like there is, but there isn't. I just wanted to be really clear that this is happening. I think it's fantastic. And yeah, there's just a few points I've already made in this video, and that's all. So if you're a writer and you do writing videos, get out there and do the AuthorTube newbie tag. Let's get this ball rolling. Let's push that boulder down the mountain and get it some momentum. This could be the start of something beautiful. BookTube's been around for years and years. Let's see if we could be, issuing the start of AuthorTube as we know it, as we will know it. You know what I mean. That's it. This was a pretty casual discussion video today. There's not really any negative stance to take on it, which is a good thing, I think, especially at this time. After everything that's happened recently, I think it's good that we can just have a discussion about this. But if you have any opinion on this, if you, I suppose, disagree with anything I've said for some reason, if you have any input whatsoever, I would really like you to leave me a comment below and let me know. Make sure you check out some of my other videos as well. I do lots of book-related videos, writing stuff, all that kind of stuff. And if you haven't already, join the Wolfpack and subscribe. And for those of you that are in the Wolfpack, I will see you in the next video. Catch ya!